a variety of matters as it pertains to aging cases. This meeting is being conducted both online and in person, but the rights apply to all those present by either way. All defendants, you have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say regarding the facts of your case can do. This particular proceeding is being broadcast over the internet as a live stream. It's also being recorded. That means any member of the public can log on and watch this particular proceeding. When I ask you if you understand your rights, those are the rights to which I am referring. All right, I'm gonna call the entire calendar. And I understand there may be some announcements that will allow you to go, but I am gonna ask that the cases that we can pre-try today, that we try to do that. If it's all possible versus just plain resetting, even if it's just hearing the offer from the state and going forth from there. If anyone wishes to have the services of the public defender's office and they're here in person, is there anybody? Miss Helen? I know these are show cause and final plea, but if anyone wants to be qualified, oh, I can see Mr. Gates here. So, those are my reset dates, right? Okay. So Mr. Gates, if anyone wants to be qualified here on, in the courtroom, can they just come up and speak with you?
Yes, excuse me, if I don't choke to death, Judge. Now, what happened is that I will speak with them and then pull them out to the hallway to speak with them one-on-one.
Okay, Ms. Helen, those who wish to be qualified online, should they send you a message in the chat, or what should they do?
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, everyone. Anyone seeking the services of the Public Defender's Office and you're on the Zoom call, please send your first and last name, your cell phone number, and your email address if you are seeking our services. From there, I'm going to send you an application so that you can fill it out completely so that we can see if you qualify for our services, okay? And if it's a lot of people, give us time, guys. We've got to talk to each and every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Hopefully this process will go smoothly and most people are already represented. So let's begin with the Orca show cause calendar. If I mispronounce your name, please forgive me. Terrence Koffel or Koffel. Are you present or on Zoom? All right, Gerard Gregory. Dante Hall. Jabril Izegwe. Sharon Johnson. Timothy Jones. Tony Jordan. Mackenzie Phillips. Salavia Reyes. Darrell Richards. Isabel Richardson. Kevin Saucedo. And the Public Defender's Office isn't representing any of these people. Quentin Tompkins. Represented by Mr. Ford.
Your Honor, Mr. Ford is in our office. He's assigned to a division. So the cases with his name obviously will be our cases within Orca. We've not had any contact with these individuals, Judge.
Okay. Michael Whitehead. Anthony Wright.
And Judge, just so the court is aware, Ms. Giddings used to be an attorney in our office. That would be our case. We've not had any contact with Anthony Wright.
All right, thank you, Mr. Fattah. Sean Young.
That's my case, Your Honor. Mr. Young is here.
All right, is there an announcement for this case?
Your Honor, I just finished reviewing the case yesterday. I haven't had a chance to sit down with the client and talk to him about his options. We would ask for a continuance of a couple of weeks. I should be able to meet with him next week and talk to him about it.
Okay, please hold. I am gonna ask that you speak with the prosecutors if it's possible that we can resolve it today.
Okay.
You remain optimistic.
Thanks, Judge.
All right, that concludes the entire Orca show cause calendar. Ms. Riley, Ms. Gdia, I assume that you wish for bench warrants to issue for each of those that did not appear. Are there any other more specific announcements related to any of these cases other than that one?
It's not a reason. Hey, my lawyer, had a family emergency. Just trying to see if I can get some time so she can come here. So,
Did I call your name on this calendar?
No.
Okay, then please wait. Any announcements, Ms. Riley or Ms. Gdia?
Good morning. No, Your Honor.
Good morning. No, Your Honor.
All right, we continue to remain optimistic. Someone else was, what, did I call your name on this?
Yeah,
calendar?
you don't call me Germán Cannon Correa.
Okay, give me 1 second. We're gonna call the next calendar, okay?
Okay.
That's not the entire calendar. All right. Now we're gonna call the Orca final plea calendar. These cases, it is our hope that a final plea will be taken today. Tiffany Busby,
Your Honor, Clarence Johnson, Ms. Busby is present. There will be a plea. We just need the paperwork.
all right. All right, Ms. Riley or Ms. Githia, will you be sending us that paperwork?
Yes, Your Honor. I have positions 1 through 7, and I will be sending that paperwork to Ms. Bolton.
Thank you. We'll take pleas as we can. Jordan Coburn,
Yes, present.
Good morning, Your Honor. Sarah Flack for Mr. Coburn. Judge, we are prepared to go forward with a non-negotiated plea this morning.
okay. Thank you.
Your Honor, I previously sent both non-negotiated plea paperwork as well as negotiated plea paperwork to Ms. Flack. I'm not sure if she has sent that back.
I have, Judge, I sent it to the court yesterday and I did CC
I have.
Prosecutor Riley. Thank you, Judge.
You're
I
welcome.
have. Okay. Jasmine Newberry. Keith Diggs. Mr. Diggs, you're present. Do you have an attorney?
Your Honor, Mr. Diggs is, I guess, is in court. This is Mike Raffov's case. I'm gonna handle it. Once we're done this morning, I'm actually gonna walk over to the to courthouse to speak to him. And if Ms. Riley can just either send a chat or an email with the offer or recommendation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Debbie Dinkins. I have the elected here. Mr. Dinkins, you're present. And you have an attorney?
Judge, I apologize for the interruption. Again, I wasn't sure who's gonna be where, but Sammy Dinkins is represented by Larry Korn. I'm handling Larry's cases. He's got a conflict in Superior Court. And same thing, Judge, I'll walk over to the courthouse and talk to him. I do have a recommendation on him, Judge.
All right, thank you, Mr. Vidal. Gianna Hardy.
Present.
And this is Mr. Korn's case as well. If I can, at the end, if I can be placed in a breakout room to speak to Ms. Hardy real quick, and Ms. Riley, if you can send me the recommendation, that'd be great.
All right, so we'll pre-try that one. Thank you.
Thank you,
Sean
Judge.
Headley. Sean Headley.
Your Honor, that is also Larry Korn's case. Is he in? I don't think he's on.
Headley. But we'll assume if he shows, we'll pre-try that one as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Robert Hill.
Yes, ma'am, right here.
Good morning, Judge. That's my case. I'll just announce pretrial in that matter.
Thank you. Brian McGee.
Ms. McGee's present, Judge. He's in the back. I'll announce pretrial. That's my case.
All right, thank you. Robert Mitchell, same as
Same announcement. Robert Mitchell's present.
Mariano Romero.
Your Honor, that would be our case, Judge.
Same announcement.
Mr. Romero. If he appears, I was gonna ask for a trial, Judge.
If not, we'll look at that a different way. Charleston Smith.
That's our case, Judge, pre-trial.
Okay. Mark Stevens.
Please hear, Judge, that's my client. We've already gotten an offer of probation and that's being rejected. So we'll need to move to the trial calendar.
Okay.
That's all our business, man. We
Okay.
excused.
Hold 1 second. I think we need to have your client sign something and then you can be, all right?
Sure.
Thank you. Sade Thomas.
And that's my case, Judge. It's pretrial announcement.
Okay. And you're Mr. West?
I am.
All right, so Mr. West, as soon as we've got that case management order signed, you can go up for you now. All right?
Thank you, Judge.
Unless you'd like to avail yourself of some of the Miss Riley's last day donuts I brought in. All right, let's see. All right, is there anyone present whose name I did not call? Please stand. Oh, there's quite a few people. That's problematic. Are they all on the 1:30 calendar perhaps?
So there was a mix up.
And
Application,
One second.
they have to go to 3D.
Oh, they're supposed to go up to Judge Mincy in 3D.
Yeah, I can walk them.
Okay, so if your name was not called, and you're gonna be taken to a citations calendar upstairs. And you're gonna follow this gentleman here who will walk you there for that citation calendar.
I apologize, Judge. I just wanted to make
Hold
sure.
on, before you go, hold on, wait, let's make sure that you're walking out. 1 second, let's look at your notices to make sure before you leave that you're going to the right place. Hold on 1 second, please don't go yet, Let's look at the notices to make sure that these people are not supposed to be here before you walk out. Okay?
I apologize, Judge, for interrupting you. I just wanted to make sure if those were any of my people for 1:30, if we could handle them.
No, they're not 1:30 people. These are people we're believing that are here for the citations only calendar.
Oh,
And there's a citations only calendar that was noticed for 33 that's now taking place in 3D. It's not the 1:30.
thank you, Judge.
We need to make sure. Does your notice say CIT? Everyone take a look at the notice you have. If it says CIT on it, then you're gonna walk upstairs and you're gonna be before Judge Mincy today. It's a 23 CIT. CIT, then you're gonna follow it then. Does it say CIT? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good to see you. Take care, Kyle. Let me just take him through it. All right. All right, so everyone else is supposed to be here. All right, great. And we'll get that order for you all, and then y'all will be free. All right, as to the case. Mr. Young's case, John Young, that was on show cause. Is that Miss Riley? Is that yours or Miss Gizia?
Sean Young is mine, Your Honor.
All right, will you put that onto the record?
The offer is to plead guilty to DUI, less safe, 12 months to serve 1 day, credit for time served. 1 day, the balance probated, a $300 fine, 40 hours of community service, alcohol drug evaluation and treatment, risk reduction program, 1 victim impact panel, and the remaining charges will be dismissed.
And your client's not interested in that, Mr. Dickerson?
I don't know, Judge. That's the first that I've
That's
heard of it.
the first part of it. Oh, okay.
So what I would like to do, Your Honor, I'm supposed to be in Superior Court at 9:30. I'd like to meet with Mr. Young next week, watch the video together with him, talk about that offer with him, and then if we could get back to the court.
All right, we'll reset you to final plea on June the 9th.
Thank you, Judge.
And that should be at 9 a.m. All right?
Thank you.
Is that, I'm sorry, Your Honor, is that Mr. Jeffrey Dickerson or is that someone else?
That's me, Jeff Dickerson.
Okay, because I did email you on May 3rd.
Did you? Okay. I'm a couple days behind on my
Okay,
email. I
these
just haven't
things
seen it.
happen. Mr. Young is wanting to say something, Mr. Young?
Do I have to come back to court? I don't live in the area at all.
Mr. Staff?
If-
You want a final plea? Do you anticipate that your client will take a plea at that time? Or do you think further negotiations will take place? If he does, that is an in-person calendar, but if a status or you need more time, that one can be on Zoom. I guess the question is, do you believe it'll be resolved the next time you appear before me?
I think there's a 50-50 chance.
Okay, so what we'll do, if your client does not live in the area, we'll put him on the status calendar at 1:30. And then if he is gonna take the plea, just make sure the paperwork is here and signed already ahead of time, all right? And then from there, if it's still not resolved, we'll go to an in-person final plea, okay?
Thank you, Judge. That was June 9th.
Yeah, and that'll be the 1:30 calendar.
Do I need to sign for any kind of court date?
No, not for that type of reset.
The June 9th. and 3rd. Okay. All right, thank you, Judge.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Yes, you may. Take care. Have a great day. Mute young dash.
Did they call your cat? Did they call your name? Hold on, give me a second. Let me just have.
I think the mic for the defense table may be on.
Is there a well, that's fine. Is there a Kelvin Floyd that was on the calendar?
Does his notice say CI?
I don't need anything else from me, and we'll just get notice by.
There's no Floyd on my calendar. Must be the citations as well.
Okay, I'll watch out for
Yeah, because there's a gentleman right here. He thinks he's supposed to be in court today. He might be on the citation.
Notice the CIT,
He doesn't have it with him.
so I'm sure it's upstairs.
Okay.
Gotta go to 3, is it 3D or 3F? Is it, I don't remember which one, hold on.
I think it's called 3D.
Do I need to go to 3D?
Hold one second.
Yeah, take you. Thank you.
Sign that. Paperwork has to be up here today. I'm sorry, but paperwork has to be. No, it's not paperwork.
All the dangerous.
I'll spend my time to see that if I could schedule something. There's no enough stuff. There's no sign. Right, record 3D. Okay. Put that right now? Yes, yeah, all right. Okay, thank you. Probably important.
And we didn't have a Tarvis Andrews either, did we? I don't remember that name.
No, so that 3D, everybody whose name is in call should probably go to 3D.
Oh, citation, yeah, so, both of you go to the same place that goes, 3D.
I guess you could.
Yeah, right. And Mr. Yes.
Okay.
Sorry. Thank you.
Honor, position number 7 on the final plea, just sent a message on chat saying that he's here.
Right, but his attorney had already announced.
Oh, okay, I'm fine.
That's fine. Thank you.
It's for James Robinson.
Those, I said, yes,
Is it in this building?
in the next building.
Okay.
Over. All right, so we will begin pre-trying these cases as best we can. Mr. Gaither, if you would like to speak to your clients and all. Ms. Helen, is anyone online that you can assist?
Your Honor, no one has reached out to me to request any services, so I do not believe anyone on Zoom is seeking our services today.
Or already, they may already be represented by Mr. Haddad or Mr. Gaither.
That's correct.
All right. Let me see if we can can we go ahead and take the non-negotiated plea before anyone needs to speak to Ms. Riley? The case of Mr. Coburn.
Yeah, I'm just trying to follow with you on 4 cases.
Yes, Your Honor, if you just give me just a moment to pull up the report. And
And
then,
is Ms. Black present?
Yes, Judge, I'm present and I'm ready whenever the court is ready.
All right, we're gonna go forward.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Mr. Coburn, your case is 19 CR 0098. Excuse me, 68G. I will not sound the charge. The offense date is August 22nd of 2018. Do you understand the rights that I explained at the beginning of the calendar?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
I'm gonna assume that you're gonna take a plea today. It may not, I've been defending upon the decision that I made. What happens in a non-negotiated plea is I'm gonna listen to the recommendation given by the state as well as the recommendation from your attorney and then make a decision. Then you will have the decision to decide whether you wish to accept that plea offer at that time or if you wish to go forward to a full judge or jury trial. Excuse me, my voice. But please raise your right hand. I'm gonna place you under oath for the limited purposes of taking the plea, such that it does not interfere with your constitutional rights, all right? The use of the testimony you give today for the limited purposes of taking the plea will be the truth to the best of your knowledge and under the penalty of perjury.
I do.
All right, thank you. Put your hand down. Ms. Riley, please proceed whenever you're ready. And I am gonna ask you to give me the history because it's non-negotiated.
yes, Your Honor, I'm waiting for, I'm
That's
sorry,
fine.
my Odyssey is moving slow. Give me just a moment.
Mine is non-existent, so
Okay.
look again.
It's a-
And Judge, if I may, while we're waiting, I did want the court to know, I think the state's aware, we're gonna be asking for first offender and also pleading under Alford this morning.
Okay.
Your Honor, the state would object to first offender.
Sure. I know you're gonna fill me in, that's right.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, it's coming up now.
Did everyone get safely to 3D? All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for the time, Your Honor. If this were a negotiated plea, the state.
Hold 1 second, Ms. Riley, 1 second for me. Thank
Sure.
you. All right, I'm sorry. Please proceed, Ms. Riley.
Thank you, Your Honor. If this were a negotiated plea, the state's recommendation would be to count 1, 12 months to serve, count 2, 12 months on probation, a $500 fine, 40 hours of community service, to have no contact with the victim, Dana Robinson, to complete a psychosexual evaluation and any treatment if recommended, and to stop practicing or surrender the license for massage therapy. And the state would expect the evidence to show if this were to proceed to trial.
One
That
second, you said 12 months to serve on count one and
Yes.
12-month probation concurrent. I'm sorry, consecutive. Consecutive, and you said 40 hours of community service, the eval, no contact.
$500 fine.
That was what I was missing. Thank you. All right, you can proceed.
Thank you. On October 1st of 2018, Ms. Robinson walked into the Zone 6 precinct to report a sexual assault that occurred on August 22nd of 2018. Ms. Robinson stated that she went to Revive Moment at 465 Boulevard in Atlanta, Fulton County, for a physical therapy session. While she was laying on the therapy bed, wearing yoga pants and a tank top, the defendant began to place his hands on the outside of her clothing, groped her vaginal area.
Okay. Is the victim on the line?
She is not, Your Honor. She is suffering from anxiety from this.
Okay, I'm gonna ask that we go into a break. Well, I guess I can't even do a breakout because there are people here in the courtroom with me. All right, continue, Ms. Ryan.
Okay.
Continue.
Thank you. He placed his hands on the outside of her clothing and groped the vaginal area. And when she said no, he did it 2 times again. At first, she thought maybe it was a mistake, but then Ms. Robinson stated that Mr. Coburn made sexual remarks, and Ms. Robinson could not move, being that she was strapped to the machine. She could not get up until the session was over. Ms. Robinson stated that she was approaching or getting up to get her keys in her bag, and the defendant came up behind her, still trying to make sexual advances, stating Ms. Robinson then left the location and drove to a parking lot. And due to her anxiety and issues or fears with the case, did not talk to anyone about the incident or proceed to report it until October 1st of 2018. This is Mr. Coburn's first and only arrest.
Okay. All right, Ms. Flack, if you proceed.
Good morning, Your Honor. We are here this morning wanting to take this plea pursuant to first offender and under pursuant to Alford, and I'll explain why. But most importantly, Mr. Coburn is here because he is wanting to take responsibility for his part in this case. This case has been lingering for 5 years now. It's half a decade old. He is 33 years old, Judge. He is a father to a baby, a 15-month-old baby. He is a stay-at-home dad, full-time, wonderful stay-at-home dad. His wife is also incredibly supportive and has been at all of our meetings and conversations about this case, and is also supporting him throughout this case. Judge, what happened here is not exactly what the facts that the state has laid out, which is why we are asking to plead under Alford. Mr.
Just really quickly, and you can refresh my recollection, as it has been some time since I've done criminal practice, but I said Alford please reserved exclusively for felonies. And then
no, Judge.
Taking no love plea. Let me check, but go ahead, continue.
He is here. He believes it's in his best interest to take this plea, but the facts that I would like to kind of share, Judge, are that the encounter with the alleged victim in this case was a consensual encounter. He admits that what he did was inappropriate. And he admitted that in his position as a physical therapist at the time, that what he did was not appropriate, but that it did not rise to criminal conduct. However, he is wanting to take responsibility for that, Judge. He has stopped practicing physical therapy. He is no longer doing any massage work. He's not doing anything related to this and hasn't in almost 5 years, Judge. So we have no objection, obviously, to the state's, one of their conditions or things that they were asking this court for was no contact in any way like that. And there's no problem there, Judge. He is a college graduate judge. He graduated in 2012 with a degree from Orangeburg, South Carolina. And he also had a psychosexual evaluation done in this case, and there were no significant findings there, no diagnoses. He wasn't found to be any sort of risk to the community in any way as a result of that psychosexual. Furthermore, Judge, we also, and for mitigation purposes, he had completed a polygraph examination, and he had that completed by Dan Sosnowski, who is an FBI trained polygraph examiner. And I understand that that has no bearing, and Mr. Coburn understands that it's not admissible at trial. A jury would never hear about that, but certainly I did want to share that with the court that he passed that polygraph. And so to the extent, that is why we are asking for a sentence that does not involve incarceration. We're asking for a probated sentence, Judge, given his lack of history, given the facts of this case, the length of time, the delay of reporting in this case, the totality of the circumstances in this case, Judge. We're asking that the court impose a sentence of probation, increased community service. The court could impose any other conditions that the court see fit, including classes, if the court is so inclined. The one thing I do ask is he has a family member that's in Belize, and so he and his wife and son have had to travel there a few times. So we would ask that as a part of his sentence, he still be allowed to visit that family member, as they've had to do that quite frequently. He's had no problems while he's been out on bond, while this case has been pending, Judge. He's had no contact with the alleged victim.
I'm sorry, hold one second, Ms. Black.
No problem, Judge.
I'm gonna ask that any person, is there anyone online whose name I did not call, who's properly assigned to the citations calendar? I don't see anybody.
I'm here on that, Your Honor.
Okay, so that courtroom, that's a different link. That is.
I have that link where we haven't been able to get in, so I was just checking because it had the courtroom 33, G33, so.
No,
Okay.
Okay, what's your client's name, is what did you say?
I can spell it, it's in the chat,
Last name is NWOPARA, and I'm sorry, Ms. Black, I promise.
NWOPA.
No problem, Your Honor.
PARA.
PARA.
Is there anyone else who's here for the citation calendar? Anyone whose notice has a CIT on it? Okay,
Thank you.
all right, thank you. So Ms. Watson Cafe, they're gonna ask that you get led into the other Zoom link. So click on that other link and hopefully somebody can let you in, because that one is supposed to be a hybrid calendar as well.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, I'm sounding one last time. All right, with my most sincere apologies, Ms. Black, I am listening and taking notes.
No, Judge, I know you are multitasking. I totally understand. I think where I had left off, we were asking for a probated sentence, Judge, with any conditions the court see fit. We can do extra classes, we can do increased community service. Any other conditions the court see fit. There's no allegation here that that Mr. Coburn has had any contact with this victim in the 5 years this case has been open. And furthermore, again, this was a consensual interaction that escalated during this session where the victim was sharing intimate details about her relationship. And again, Mr. Coburn admits that in his role, that was inappropriate and he shouldn't have been doing that. And so he has had to live with this case being open for 5 years, having no violations of the law. He has been denied many job opportunities because of this open case, and will continue to if he's on probation. But I think there's absolutely no concern that he's a danger to the community. Certainly if he were, we would have seen that come back in his psychosexual evaluation, and we would have seen him reoffend in the past 5 years, which has not happened. So again, I'm just asking the court for a probated sentence. He did serve about a day or so in the Fulton County Jail when he was arrested. And so any conditions that the court see fit, but we are not asking for any incarceration time, Judge.
And Your Honor, if I may,
One question, then I'll let you speak, Ms. Riley.
thank you.
His position regarding the surrender of his license? You said he's not currently doing it, but I'm assuming.
Correct. Yes, absolutely. We would,
You're
no
okay with
objection.
it?
No objection to that. And I did want to also acknowledge that his parents are both present here on Zoom supporting him, John and Sabrina Nettles, Judge.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Riley, please proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would say that or submit that it is not, and I can't speak for the victim, as due to her anxiety, she does not even want to be present for the fear of even having to see Mr. Coburn. But I would not agree that this is a consensual encounter as though she was strapped to a table for physical therapy due to an injury from running a 5K. So I'm not sure that consent could be given to grope such private areas while strapped to a table. We would ask for there to be incarceration imposed, Your Honor, if that could be via ankle monitor or home detention. The state, would not object to Mr. Coburn having to travel for his sick relative or relative that he needed to see in Belize, but that there be some type of home detention imposed.
Okay, so Ms. Riley, when you say some type of home detention, let's be specific. If you're saying you're willing to amend the 12 months to serve to a 12-month home incarceration with ankle monitor, is that what you're saying?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and again, I would like the state to speak to the alpha plea. It's my understanding that for misdemeanors, a no-lo is available. However, the alpha is not, and I haven't had the opportunity to research that fully. And Ms. Flack, you can speak to that as well, but it's my understanding that Alfred is for felonies, and in this case, it will be a no-lo, but I could be incorrect.
Your Honor, actually, Alfred is still available with misdemeanors. They have the option of Alfred or a no-lo plea.
A no-lo, okay.
But the state would object to either of
I'm
those.
sure the state does, but I am, like I said, it's been many years since I was down doing criminal work, but I remember that was my instruction previously. Okay, so Ms. Black, let's come back to you. I feel as if I'm serving a little bit in the role of mediator today, which is not normally.
Not a problem.
That I take on. Ms. Riley has consented to some an ankle monitor versus incarceration in Fulton County facility. Does your client wish to consider that as an option? And I understand that you wish for him to have no incarceration whatsoever, or no monitoring via that same method. However, if I decided that, would that be something your client would like to do? Would you like to speak with him briefly?
Judge, I guess in all fairness, I would like to speak to him because he and I haven't talked about that new recommendation.
Okay, so let's do that. Can we put Ms. Flack and Mr. Coburn briefly in a breakout to discuss that? And I'm gonna do some more research myself really quickly about the no-lo presumption, all right? And I do understand Ms. Riley's objection. State objection is noted. I'm not saying I'm gonna do it yet, but we will, that's one thing to consider. So we'll let you all go into the breakout. Is Ms. Githea still on the line? I'm sure there's several people who would like to speak with you, Ms. Githea, so we can start pre-trying some of the cases here. Is anybody, Mr. Gates? Oh, Mr. Gates is in the hall.
She is here, Your Honor. However, it appears that she may be on the phone with.
I'm hoping that's what she's doing. I hope she's speaking to something. Okay, so we'll be very briefly on hold while Ms. Flack has an opportunity to speak with her clients.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Riley, will you please check your email very quickly?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Bolton sent you an email from for us. Thank you. Oh, sorry.
I think it, and like I say, it may affect the outcome. I don't. Right, I would refuse to come here.
Okay, did Ms. Black ever get into the breakout with her client?
We didn't, Judge. We're still holding.
Oh,
still
I
waiting.
see you all.
Apologies, it was Miss Black and who?
Ms. Black and her client, Mr. Coburn. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, well. And Mr. Gates, not to add to your workload, but there's another young lady who wishes to speak with you to see if she qualifies and could have your assistance.
Okay, sure,
Ms. Dewberry,
sure. We move
or
it
Mr.
on.
Haddad, perhaps might be.
Yeah, give me a moment. I think he's still speaking, so, oh, he's right here.
Yeah.
If the person you can take wrong.
No.
It's the party. Wolfstein, okay, they come.
I'll, guess I had something. Yeah. That's.
It's the same thing.
Okay, well, I'll tell you.
Yeah. Your Honor. Report certificate.
Anything you gave me,
You gave it a complete.
Yes, I did.
I don't have it. Oh, yes, no, that's the Coburn.
Yes, we'll take up this position next, please.
Who is it?
Council has a hearing.
It's
Coming up.
that's not his, but that's Ms. Riley's case too.
Yes, it is.
Okay. While they're speaking, Ms. Riley, I hate to ask you to shift focus, but Ms. Busby, let's take her. Can we take her plea? Are you available and able to temporarily switch focus?
Yes, Your Honor, let me just pull up the report unless Mr. Johnson and Ms. Busby are willing to stipulate to venue, factual basis and ID.
I'm sure that's what will happen. Are you? Okay.
Yes, Judge, we are willing to stipulate.
Ms. Busby, in case 19 CR 00023G, you're charged with driving on the right side of the roadway. And I'm sorry, it could be wrong side. And then DUI less safe with the offense date of December the 8th of 2017. Do you understand your rights today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Ms. Riley, will you please give me the state's offer at this time?
Yes, Your Honor. For count one, vehicles that drive on the right side of the roadway, that would merge into count two. And count two being DUI less safe. It is 12 months to serve, 24 hours, credit for time served, 24 hours, the balance on probation, a $300 fine, 40 hours of community service, alcohol and drug evaluation, any treatment that is recommended, a risk reduction course, and to attend one victim impact panel.
And Mr. Johnson, was that your understanding of the offer? And do you stipulate factual basis ID and venue?
Yes, it is our understanding and we do stipulate.
All right, Ms. Busby, please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth, to the best of your knowledge, and under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm gonna ask you some questions to make sure this is a truly voluntary plea. Are you going to be influenced with any drugs or alcohol at this time?
No, ma'am.
Did anyone promise you anything in exchange for taking the plea today?
No, ma'am.
Did anyone force you to take a plea?
No, ma'am.
Did anyone tell you you'd receive a lesser sentence if you took a plea?
No, ma'am.
Did anyone, do you understand that by taking a plea today, you're giving up your right to have started to give a plea beyond a reasonable doubt?
Yes, ma'am.
And you will have no further court dates regarding the charge.
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand the requirements. You have to pay a fine, complete community service, attend 2 specialty classes, and undergo an evaluation. You understand all of that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, as to the charge of DUI, the state is supposed to be hired to plea.
Guilty.
I accept your guilty plea at this time. Is there anything further, Mr. Johnson, on the file?
Yes, Judge, my client, this was such a terrible experience for her. She stopped drinking altogether. She actually does not live in Georgia anymore. She resides in Alabama where she works, and she's taking care of her dad, who's been very ill. And so we won't ask for an affidavit of first conviction because she resides and has an Alabama license now. And we also asked that her probation be, that she call in, so she does reside in Alabama now. And I don't know if, but,
That should be okay.
okay.
She can appear, I think she'll have to appear via Zoom.
Oh, that's fine. Thank you.
So I'll put in the order that she can appear via Zoom. And I will sign that first offender affidavit. All right?
And I guess the other question, Judge, does she have to stay on probation the entire time? I didn't really discuss that with.
I'm gonna require that she report the entire time, but I will waive 3 months of the fee, okay?
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. I believe that includes, Ms. Riley, you're muted if you're speaking to us. Were you speaking to us, Ms. Riley, or no? Anything further?
Nothing further from the state on this case, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, Ms. Busby, Mr. Johnson, you're free to go once you filled out some forms, okay?
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Ms. Riley, on your promotion.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Good to see you.
All right, good seeing you.
Don't leave just yet.
Sure.
And
Okay, not a problem.
All right.
And, Your Honor, I'm sorry, before we continue with Mr. Colburn's case, my victim advocate, Ms. Clemens, just informed me that Ms. Robinson is going to join us. She would like to make an impact statement to the court.
Okay, that's fine. We will,
She'll be joining via Zoom, Your Honor.
yes, I assume she would be, that's fine. Is there other business we can take up in the meantime? Are there other pleas we can take? Mr. Gaither, oh, he's not here. He doesn't. Anyone else with any announcements?
And Your Honor, I believe I saw Mr. Haddad come into the courtroom. I sent him, I'm not sure if he's back on Zoom, but I did send one offer in the chat, or I can just put them on the record while we're waiting. He needed position.
He would probably need to still hear it, so, and he's not, he's in the hall.
Oh, okay.
So.
I will hold. Yes, Your Honor.
He would need to. He'll be back in a second.
Okay.
I will, let you all know when. Okay, there's a lot of sitting and I don't really see if we can do anything else. So again, we'll be on hold. Ms. Black, if you want to give me, your client's position regarding the, monitoring.
Yes, Judge. We would still ask for a probated sentence, just given everything that I've explained to the court. You know, I guess the question becomes, with an ankle monitor is still considered detention, being in house confinement is still considered detention. And quite frankly, you know, there are folks with felony cases, much more serious, that have lesser sentences, considering some of the issues in this case and considering his lack of history, and also considering that he's had 5 years to demonstrate that he can be a productive member of society and hasn't violated
All that, I understood, yeah, I understand that, but my question.
That's my
so
position.
He does not want to, he feels that's for probation and would not consent to that, such that the plea is still not negotiated, is.
Yes, Judge.
Okay, all right,
Thank you.
Ms. Robinson, I see you present on Zoom, and I've been instructed that you wish to make a statement. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm that the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge and under the penalty of perjury?
Yes.
All right, what would you like to tell the court today?
First of all, nothing that happened was consensual. And this incident, although it happened 5 years ago, still affects me today. I went in for a service that I paid for and was sexually assaulted. And I don't think it's okay. And these 5 years, I've still been dealing with the pain of that and struggling. I just don't think this is something to brush off.
All right,
It's frustrating.
thank you, Ms. Robinson.
And
Oh,
Your Honor, if
I'm
I
not
could,
gonna-
may I ask Ms. Robinson?
Very briefly, Ms. Riley, I think I've got the flavor of.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, all right.
And Ms. Robinson, in regards to punishment for this case, would you like to see jail time imposed on this?
Yes.
event? Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Flash, would you like to ask Ms. Robinson any questions before she leaves?
No, Your Honor.
All right. If Mr. Coburn decides to take this, decide to take a plea today, I will accept the state's recommendation in part such that he will require to be under ankle monitoring for 12 months. Upon the completion of that 12 months, he could be on probation. He would have to undergo the recommended evaluation, which I believe he's already completed. I've taken so many notes. Ms. Riley, what was the remainder of the state's recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor, on the second count, it was a $500 fine, 40 hours of community service, no contact with Ms. Robinson, and to stop practicing physical therapy and surrender that license.
All right, so Ms. Flack, I'm accepting a modified version of the state's recommendation. Does your client wish to go forward? Or does your client wish to be reset for a jury trial or trial by judge?
Judge, may I ask one question just to clarify? So I know the state said earlier they didn't object. Would that allow him to, I mean, is
He
it?
can do that one time, that travel to Belize, as long as he reported to the company and got pre-approval for that trip and then check back in upon his return.
Okay, and other than that, is he allowed to leave his home at all? I mean, because he's a father that takes care of a baby. So, I mean, or is it like a curfew? I mean, how would that functionally work?
I mean, he would still be under monitoring. I'm sure there's some.
Right.
Discuss the guidelines. He can't, it's still a confinement is what we're.
Okay, I guess my question is, if he's got an ankle monitor, I understand he'll be subject to GPS, but would he be allowed to leave the house during the day at all? Or is it, 24 hours a day for the next year, he can't leave his house? That's what I'm trying to understand.
Your Honor, I believe for medical appointments, that
Right.
would include the children.
Right, I believe that I believe he's allowed to work, I believe, that's correct, so you'll be able to go to work.
Yes, Your Honor.
I don't have, let me see if I can find this. Really quick. But he's allowed to go to work, he's allowed to pick up the children from school, there is a curfew. We can discuss what that curfew would be, but it would be, it would be confinement, that's why,
But he would be allowed to leave for school or children, medical, legal.
Right.
And there just would be a curfew.
Yes.
And what would the curfew be?
Is your client currently working? You said he's stay-at-home dad?
Correct, yes.
Okay, so if he doesn't have a job that takes him out after hours, I believe, what was the standard curfew, Ms. Riley? What is the statement recommending?
So he would be allowed to leave for work and, care of the children, taking them to school back and forth, or medical appointments for himself or the children. But I believe he would have to be in the home no later than 10 p.m. and remain.
And return by 5, is that correct? Is it 5
Yes.
a.m.? That's what I thought.
Yes.
10 p.m. to 5 a.m.
Yes.
and would be allowed to travel to Belize. Okay, if I could have just a moment to speak with him, Judge.
Sure. And Mr. Glanville, you could put them back into a breakout just for a moment.
Would the court consider allowing that to suspend after 6 months, the home ankle monitor confinement?
I would not. We're ready for your announcement, Mr. Haddad, and Ms. Riley wanted to put an offer onto the record as well, but your announcement?
And I have a couple announcements too after Mr. Haddad makes it.
All right, let's go ahead with your announcement too.
All right, thank you, Judge. With the final plea, Your Honor, position number 4, Keith Diggs. He is, of course, present in the courtroom. I'm not sure what transpired the last time, but apparently there was information that the alleged victim had passed away in December. I don't know if the state was aware of that. This is not my case. I just saw the notes and I confirmed it with my client. I mean, I don't know if the state had looked up to confirm. I don't have anything in the file. I'd be happy to either request a reset and I'll make sure that gets taken care of.
Passed away, even, if Mr. Haddad, even though the victim passed away, the state could
Right.
still decide to move forward, but let's see, Ms. Riley, is there any announcement for position 4 on the final plea and were you aware that the victim is no longer alive?
Your Honor, I am aware that that has been indicated, that she's deceased, but we do not have confirmation. I will take a double look to see. I know that previously that's what we were waiting for, to confirm if she was in fact deceased.
Okay.
But the state's offer would remain. It is essentially time served recommendation with anger management, but I will double check right now.
Well, I'll talk to Mr. Diggs. Position number 5, Judge, Mr. Dinkins, he is present. We're requesting, he's maintaining a not guilty plea. We're gonna request a jury trial on that case, Judge.
Okay. And Ms. Riley, will you put that offer onto the record?
Yes, Your Honor. It's 12 months to serve 2 days, credit for time served 2 days, the balance on probation, a family violence intervention program, 40 hours of community service, and to have no contact with Keisha Grant. And that offer would be withdrawn
Okay.
after today.
And your client's not interested in that offer?
That is correct, Judge.
All right, so
And-
once he signs I believe there's some form he'll need to sign. Mr. Dinkins, after you sign, your case is gonna be reset to a judge for jury trial. Jury trials are happening a lot sooner within this Orca process, so you'll get another notice. Make sure Mr. Haddad has your address. Make sure the court has a good address for you, and then you'll be free to go once you've signed, okay? All right.
Yeah, on position number 6, I believe she still is on Zoom, Judge. Yes, she is. Same announcement, jury trial on that case, Judge. And that case is Larry Corn's case as well.
Okay. Position 6. And Ms. Riley, if you would put that offer onto the record?
Yes, Your Honor. It's 12 months to serve 2 days, credit for time served 2 days, the balance on probation, 8 anger management classes, 2 parenting classes, to pay $749 in restitution to the victim, Kira Kade, and to have no contact with the victim.
Okay. And Mr. Haddad, your client's not interested in accepting that offer at this time?
That is correct.
Ms. Hardy, are you present on the Zoom conference?
I am.
All right. Mr. Haddad will probably have to sign for you. Keep your address current with the court. Please stay in contact with your attorney. Your case is gonna be reset for a jury trial, okay?
Thank you.
In Your Honor, I'm sorry, if I could perfect the record, that offer is withdrawn from the state after today.
All right, and you're free to go at this time, Ms. Hardy.
Oh, thank you.
All right, take care.
Your Honor, position number 12, Charleston Smith. He is present in the courtroom. Same announcement, jury trial, Judge.
All right, and Ms. Gizzier, I believe that's yours. You'll put that offer onto the record.
Yes, Your Honor. For Charleston Smith, simple assault, it is 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 3 days, to serve the remaining 27 days, balance probated, 12 weeks of anger management, a gun safety class, forfeit firearms, no contact with the victim, Jerica Baines, and stay away from 569 Martin Street Southeast, located in Atlanta.
All right, and it's my understanding your client rejects that offer.
That is correct, Judge.
All right, Mr. Smith, same instructions, keep your address current. Once you signed all forms, you're free to go. All right?
And Your Honor, circling back to position number 7, Sean Headley, if he is present in the courtroom, Judge, if Ms. Riley can check her chat, I've made a counter offer, if she can check, but hold for my report on that one, Judge.
All right. They're probably going upstairs. Sir, what's your name? Do you have your notice? You more than likely you are not on this calendar. You're gonna have to go upstairs to 3D for a citation calendar. 3D. 3D, D is the dog. Okay, if you're not gonna be in this room today, because I don't see you on my calendar, okay?
Okay.
All right. All right, I'm sorry, Mr. Haddad. Any other announcements?
That's it, Judge.
All right, so Ms. Riley will proceed to that at position 7. Mr. Gaither, you have announcements?
Yes, Judge. Starting with position 8, Robert Hill. Ms. Githier, I just had the clerk here email you some correspondence, so when you get a chance, if you could take a look at that. And then after you look at that, Ms. Githier, then after you look at that, it may be the same announcement that I'm gonna make for 10 and 14. So whole number 8, that's where we are. Position 9, Ryan McGee, that will be a plea today, but I want to, Ms. Githier, since you're on, I want to ask you, would you have the problems letting this probation be suspended upon completion of the special conditions?
Give me 1 second just to check.
Sure.
Has Ms. Black returned? Okay. And Mr. Gaither, was that your only announcement?
Oh, no, I'm sorry, positions 10, Robert Mitchell. The state and I, we're going to just have that case get moved over to the trial calendar because there are it's probably going to resolve. We just can't do it today. There's some investigative matters that need to be done and we can get it completed before then.
Or a bench trial calendar?
It's probably going to be a jury trial calendar because the state, I know it's a family violence matter, the state's going to ask for a jury trial.
Okay, so Ms. Gutierrez, please put that onto the record so that we can have Mr. Mitchell sign and then be released to go.
Yes, Your Honor. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, 12 months, is it for battery family violence? It is 12 months to serve 4 days, credit for time served 4 days, the balance probated. Family violence intervention program, 40 hours of community service, and no contact with the victim.
And your client rejects that offer?
Yeah, yes, we're still working that out.
Okay, so we'll reset that one, or the jury. Same announcement, Mr. Mitchell, make sure that your address is current. Once you sign all forms, you're free to go, okay? Any other announcements, Mr. Gates?
Yes, position 14. Sade Thomas. The same announcement, we want to further notice this to the jury trial calendar
Okay, quite a few going to jury trial today.
to allow more investigation on this case as well, so we can continue our discussions.
All right, so Ms. Githia, you will put those offers onto the record.
For battery, it is 12 months probation, a $300 fine, 6 anger management classes, and the balance probated.
All right, and your client rejects that offer at this time. All right, same announcement, Ms. Thomas. Is Ms. Thomas on Zoom or Ms. Thomas is here? All right, Ms. Thomas, once you've spoken to your attorneys, sign all forms, you'll be free to go, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
As for Mr. McGee, I'm not seeing any other driving offenses that can be balance suspended.
Okay, very good. And if you can just go and send the plea paperwork, that'll be a plea today.
Okay.
All right, any other announcement on Zoom or here in court?
I gotta take him through.
Thank you.
Take care. Okay. Can you make sure my address, all the information is correct? And everyone else is holding for me. We're gonna be able to take a complete show card. We're completely finished with show card. They've been here once before, some show cards. Right, they've been here once before. Thank you. From FTA, they end up on show card. Right. Show cards from the FTA from show card, then you want to have issue. Has everyone in the courtroom spoken to investigator or waiting to investigate there? Kathy. Your name? What's your name? I'm sorry, please say it so I can hear you. Miriam.
Stand up, please.
Miriam Malone. You're not on this calendar. You're. No. Do you have your notice with you? Does it have a CIT on it? I think you're in the wrong room.
You have your notice?
Let's check. If everybody else is like spoken, but if someone spoken with everyone here, what's your name?
Okay.
Mr. Romero.
I don't want to see the citations.
Oh, he's here, Mr. Romero? Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I'll count them.
Hold on a second, Mr. Romero, you're in the right room. What's your name?
Terrence Cofield.
Position 1.
And your last name is who there?
Yes, so Jeff, do you have the chance?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Is he, what's your attorney's name? Do you, did you ever have a public defender? Would you like to serve as a public defender's office? No, you wish to have a public defender? You want to represent yourself? I don't advise that. I think you should at least speak with Mr. Gaither or Mr. Howard while you're here to see if you qualify and see if they can help you since you're here. All right? Dr. Mr. Gaither, Mr. Howard, will you speak with Mr. Howard?
I have to have my attorneys. Thank you.
You do, but you say you have an attorney? But you don't know that attorney's name?
I don't know your name.
Well, try to figure that out. Figure that out. I'm not gonna let you leave without at least addressing your case. You step into the hall, see if there's your attorney. And if not, I'm gonna ask you to speak to the public defenders to see if they can help you, okay?
Okay.
Oh, she said that.
Okay. Let me figure it out. Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna ask you to just ask Ms. Black to come back onto this main session for a moment.
Hey,
Yes. He changed. Yeah. I figured it out. I appreciate it. I have his name. Jazz very proud of me. She runs this letter in the hospital. Installation about jury fund. He wants to do. Your name possibly right here. Attorney right here. Yeah.
Gotcha. So should I stay?
You can. I can.
Okay. Okay.
And he had to drop it on us. He got about 5 days. So yeah.
Okay. Mr. Glenville, can you hear me?
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you pop into that Zoom and just ask Ms. Flight to come back for a moment? She can continue discussing with her client. But do you know to pop in there and just see if how much longer they anticipate and if I can speak with her on the record?
I can tell her to move back, but I can't go into the session itself.
Okay, that's fine. Just a message would be good. Thank you. If you can. If not, that's fine.
That's find out for it. Yeah, anything, case number, and at the bottom is the judge. The judge to make sure that they get correct. They're not modified.
Shoes on, is that okay?
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Ms. Flack, I know, can you hear me, Ms. Flack?
Yes, Judge, I can. Thank you.
I know you're still speaking with your client, and I'm not gonna rush that discussion. Ms. Riley, are you present?
We were.
Ms. Riley? Yes, what I was going to suggest, it sounds as if your client has some defenses and some concerns. Now that this case is in Orca, we're moving these things a lot faster than we had previously. I was gonna suggest perhaps if he still felt that there were some issues he'd like to be considered, because when we take a final plea, the procedure is a little bit different. So I was gonna suggest perhaps moving this case to a bench trial calendar whereby a judge could hear a little bit more from your client. If you wanted, more evidence could be considered versus us having to kind of be confined to a final plea calendar. That, of course, is your client and your choice, but he does not have to feel like it's gonna be hanging over his head, you know, several more years. The Orca jury and bench trial calendars are coming up within the next few weeks. So that remains an option for your client if you would like to go about it that route.
And
My question is,
I'm sorry, just for the record, you stated a bench trial, but the state would object to a bench trial due to the nature of these charges.
Okay, well, jury trial, but the point is it's not gonna be hanging out there forever like it has been. Within this Orca procedure in the next few weeks, he could appear on the calendar. So that is an option that I wanted to make you aware of versus this posture today where I'm much more limited in what and any judge would be and what could be done and what could be considered.
if he chose to do that, Judge, would he lose his final plea rights though? Meaning that, because right now he's able to hear what you sentence him to and then decide if he wants to accept it. Would he lose that right if he were to do that?
Possibly.
Yeah, so then with that, I
Yeah,
think he would like to go forward today, Judge, and accept the terms today. Just,
Okay.
I would just ask that the order, because I do know this has been an issue with misdemeanor probation in Fulton, that it say that he be allowed to travel, obviously giving probation notice of that with the ankle monitor.
Okay. I don't think we have any objection to that. And he wishes to go forward, you're wanting.
Yes, Judge, and we are asking for first offender. I don't know if the court has made a decision on that.
Okay, I was aware that you were asking that. I will allow him to do first offender and take the offered plea, but I'm gonna accept the state recommendation as to the sentencing. And he'll be under the ankle monitor for a whole year. And then he will be on probation following completion. Okay?
Thank you, Judge.
All right, so let's ask you some questions, Mr. Coburn, to make sure that this is a voluntary plea. You're already under oath, all right? You've spoken with your attorney extensively, I believe. Do you fully understand the nature of the plea that you're taking today? Mr. Coburn?
Yes, I do.
All right, are you satisfied with your attorney's representation?
Yes, I am.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at this time?
No, I am not.
Let's see, and you understand that taking a plea today, you're giving up your right to a jury trial or trial by judge, where you may have been able to present some defenses you would have had to this offense? Basically, you're not gonna have any other court dates. If the facts as presented by the state, then essentially this is the last, that you're not gonna be able to dispute those at any other procedures or forums. This will be the last court date about it. You understand that?
I do understand that.
All right, and you wish to move forward and take a plea?
Yes, I do.
And you understand the requirements that we just discussed. You're gonna be under monitoring for an entire year. And then following that year, you'll be on probation, complete community service and pay fines. You understand all of that?
Yes, that the probation,
You can't ask me,
that have the option of being reduced.
you can't ask me any question. You
Oh,
cannot,
okay.
you would have to ask your attorney. Do you wish to go forward and take the plea? Do you understand the requirements? Do you need to speak with your attorney again?
Okay.
Mr. Coburn, I think your internet was kind of going in and out a little
I would like
bit.
to speak to attorney again.
The judge is not going to, I've asked the court if she would be willing to suspend any part of the sentence and or ankle monitor. And it sounds like Judge Williams has said she's not willing to do that. So if that's your question.
It was about the probation part.
Suspending probation?
Yeah, we're shortening it.
Judge, would you be willing to consider shortening or suspending probation prior to the
gonna
24
report-
months?
He's gonna report the entire time.
She wants you to report.
Okay.
And do you wish to go forward taking the plea? Do you with understanding the requirements?
Yes, I do. I plan on-
Okay, his internet is breaking up so badly. Mr. Coburn, you need to drop out of the Zoom, I think, and then come back. Okay, because we have to be able to understand you.
Can you hear me now or no?
There's still a lag. Let's try to go forward. And you said you're giving up your right to have the state prove these charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt?
Yes, I understand.
And you understand that taking a plea today may affect other aspects of your life, such as employment or immigration or anything of that nature?
Yes, I understand.
Yeah, you understand, okay. And you also understand that, and did anyone force you to take a plea? You may have answered that question, but I need to make sure. Were you forced to take a plea today?
No. No.
And no one promised you anything for taking a plea?
No.
All right, as to the charge that I will not sound, how do you plead, Mr. Coburn?
Guilty.
Pursuant to offer, Judge. Guilty pursuant to offer.
All right, he has to please say that. Okay, Mr. Coburn, we have to hear you. Okay, I accept your plea at this time. Anything further, Ms. Riley or Ms. Flagg?
No, Judge. Will we be emailed a copy of the order?
I believe so. We can ask that, I'll ask that Ms. Wilson send you a copy. It's gonna be next.
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
All right,
And then-
you won't receive it today, but
Okay.
you will receive a copy of the order. And,
Well,
I'm gonna put in the order, how many times he's anticipated to travel regularly to Belize?
It will be more than once, Judge. I don't want to, it's not a schedule, but I know that he's had to go there a few times.
Yes.
So
Okay. Okay. All right, we'll put that in.
thank you, Judge. And will he be given instructions on how to report to probation?
He needs to fill out the probationer's report form. Has that already been done? He already did it. So you already did it. So someone from probation should contact him since he's completed the form.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Take care. Best of luck to everyone. All right.
Thank you, Judge. Bye-bye.
Oh, you went right? No, sorry. All right, are there any other announcements, Mr. Gaither or Mr. Haddad?
Still waiting on my counter, a recommendation on position number 11, Judge, and I sent it in the chat line to Miss. I can't remember if it's Ms. Riley. No, I don't think it's Ms. Kathia.
But Mr. Haddad, you did send me a chat regarding position 7, which I tried to respond to you, but it's telling me you're not in the meeting, you're not in the chat.
Okay.
But I am fine with amending Mr. Headley instead of Family Violence Intervention Program to 6 anger management.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
And
Will
I
that be a
guess-
plea? Do I need to do the paperwork?
Maybe I do have a blank form. I can fill it out myself and
Sure.
email it to you if that's faster.
Either way. that's-
Okay, I'll let me speak to Mr. Headley and I'll confirm. And Judge, since apparently I'm having my Zoom is not working correctly, my chat I can send but not receive. But on position number 11, Mr. Romero, I had sent a.
I'm about to respond right now.
Oh, okay, great, wonderful. All right, thank you.
All right.
It-
Further
it-
announcements.
Well, just as a follow-up, Judge, number 8, Robert Hill, Ms. Githier, did you get an opportunity to receive that correspondence that was emailed to you? Oh, she must be working on something else.
I didn't receive anything. You sent it in an email? 'Cause I don't see anything in the chat. Or I haven't got anything in my email either.
It's an email from Ms. Bolton.
Did I overlook it?
And Ms. Githier, what it is some correspondence from the victim, which may place this case in a similar situation with number 10, Robert Hill. And we may want to just further notice that because it's gonna be a similar situation to give you guys an opportunity to talk to her. Let's some further investigation and we can probably work it out because I know you're not gonna be able to do it today.
Okay. Yeah, but I haven't received any, I didn't receive anything.
And do we have plea paperwork ready for Mr. Ryan McGee, position 9?
I did forward that to the litigation manager. Well, I sent it to the state.org email.
Your Honor, I do believe that that's all my cases. May I be excused this morning?
May, take care, Ms. Hall.
Thank you, Judge. Will you be the presiding judge at 1:30?
I will.
Thank you, Judge. See you then.
See you then. Bye-bye. All right, so we're ready to take a plea.
If she's interested.
Your Honor, may I go into a breakout room with our victim advocate and Miss Baines, please?
That's fine. Mr. Grant, please do that.
But I thought Miss Baines was on Zoom.
I see Ms. Clemens, I don't see a Mrs. Baines.
She must have logged off. She was just there a few minutes ago.
Did you still want to go in the breakout room or no?
No,
Okay.
I'll check to see if she pops back on.
Has the baby in the back? Let's see if we can get them moving. So that situation with the calm baby is temporary.
Don't you want me to ask them?
Yeah, all right. I will support you. If we can help them, if you're for somebody. Here's a quick paperwork, but what I did was I wrote the defendant be monitored by information and then I put recommend travel to police.
It's for Boris. Is it a non-negotiating? No, it's. Because I don't have any for it. Okay, that's fine. I'll do it. But I was just curious what it did. I can print it out. No, it's okay. I got it here. I'll just do it by PDF. Okay. That's fine. McGee, just a little slower. That's right.
Okay, thank you.
No.
Judge, may I inquire something with Ms. Riley?
I'm sorry. say again.
Is it okay if I address Ms. Riley?
Yeah, that's-
Ms. Riley, I'm sorry with my chat being a problem.
Okay.
And I didn't know on position number 7, would you consider reducing the community service? I was not aware that he was working instead of the 40, I think, which is what you'd recommended, the 20 hours of community service.
Let me take a look.
I'm sorry to put you on the spot.
That's okay.
Well, if we could take, Mr. McKee's plea as soon as possible. Do we have paperwork? Can we do that, please? Are you ready or no?
Oh, we have it, Judge. I'm just filling out this little
Are you-
contact information form. I'll be ready in half a second.
And also, Mr. Gaither, I just text you, in response, I did receive the letter. I sent you a text.
Oh, okay.
Yes, Mr. Haddad, I'd be willing to do 20 hours.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Like, whoever, I guess the probation. I guess give them 10.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Go ahead now. Go ahead now.
Ms. Rowley, is there some diversion paperwork in the courtroom I can get just so I can keep things moving, or do I need to?
No, I just needed you to confirm that that's what she would like to do.
Oh, I did. I sent in the chat. Yes, I'm sorry. Oh, my bad. I did.
You
Yes.
just said you'll let her
My
know. So
bad.
No problem.
I did confirm in my mind. I just didn't tell you.
Okay.
Yes, that is what we want to do.
Thank you. I will send the, yes, to Ms. Bolton. Okay, thank you.
File real quick. I just want to.
Jury trial and
Yes.
Your Honor, you're muted, by the way. You're muted currently.
That's good, thank you.
Sorry about that. I was just making sure.
Just checking in, any announcements?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mr. Gaither, we ready?
Yes, we're ready.
This is Mr. McGee.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm over here sleeping. Let me wake up, Judge. I'm sorry. This is Mr. Ryan McGee.
All right, so we have the case of Ryan McGee, 20 CR 005995C. Mr. McGee is charged. Is we have pleading, what is he pleading to the same charges or it's changed? Okay, all right, it's okay. He's pleading to failure to maintain lane, DUI, alcohol and drugs, and giving false information, each with the offense date of December the 11th of 2020. Mr. McGee, do you understand your rights today?
Yes, ma'am.
Please raise your right hand. I'm gonna place you under oath. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge and under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. You can put your hand down. This Ms. Vivia's case,
Yes, Your Honor.
and if you give me the opportunity.
For count one, failure to maintain lane or improper lane change, it merges with count two. For count two, DUI, alcohol and drugs, 12 months to serve 8 days, credit for time served 8 days, $300 fine, 40 hours community service, alcohol drug evaluation and any required treatment, risk reduction program, 1 victim impact panel. And the balance will be suspended upon completion of the conditions. Count 3, giving false information to law enforcement officer, 12 months to serve 8 days, credit for time served 8 days, balance suspended.
Okay, wouldn't it be balanced probation upon the completion? He could just go non-reporting. Is that not correct? Wouldn't he have wouldn't it have to be that the balance is on probation?
You
Has he already completed the requirements?
No, he hasn't.
No, you're right, Your Honor.
It has to be balanced probated and you're asking him to go non-reporting.
Correct.
Okay, that's
You
fine.
understand what I'm saying? He
Yes,
has to
that's
still
fine.
be put on probation, complete the requirements, and then ask me to go non-reporting.
Okay, that'd be fine, Judge.
Okay, so Mr. McGee, I'm gonna ask you some questions to make sure that the plea you're taking is voluntary, okay? Why don't you take a moment? to
We're ready, Judge.
All right. All right, so Mr. McGee, we're reminding you, you're under oath. Did anyone force you to take a plea today?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything in exchange for taking a plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with your attorney's representation?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you fully understand the proceeding? Don't you know what's happening today?
No.
Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol?
No, ma'am.
Did, you understand you will have no further court dates where you could have presented some defenses to these charges?
Yes, ma'am.
And you are giving up your right to have state prove these charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand that taking the plea today may affect other aspects of your life, like employment, immigration, anything of that nature?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Oh, and I'm sorry, Mr. Gaither, did you stipulate the factual basis, ID, and venue?
Yeah, I was just about to say, for the purpose of this hearing, we stipulate the factual basis, identity, and venue.
All right, after the charges are previously listed, Mr. McGee, how do you plead?
Guilty.
I accept your guilty plea. Once he's completed the requirements, his probation can go non-reporting.
Thank you,
All right.
Judge.
I believe that concludes this matter. Is there anything further, Ms. Githia or Mr. Gaither?
Other than he'll receive a copy of the probation form where he needs to report probation. And when does he need to report probation? Is there a deadline?
Next Thursday before.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, report by. I may have left him before 3 of these. Talking about the certificate. Oh, man, thank you. I got thrown off track. Your Honor, there is one more thing that I forgot, that I got sidetracked on. Since this is his first DUI, we would like to ask the court to provide a certificate of first conviction.
All right, that's fine. If you'll present that for my signature, and is he also gonna need the limited driving permit?
Yes, and do we have forms already for that? Okay,
Does he have his license or surrender at the time of the arrest?
Yeah.
Or loss?
No, I still got my.
Okay.
Yeah.
Surrender license, but we'll do the paperwork, so you can go get a permit.
yeah, because the DUI is be suspended, yeah, and then that's why we get a certificate of first
I
conviction.
can hear you, Mr. Gabriel.
Okay, sorry, well, it's,
Am I gonna be able to have ID?
So I'm gonna give you this, I'm sorry. I'm gonna give you this, and can you go to the DMV today? And go there today?
No, I got my baby. It's already.
You should probably go as soon as you can, because you're not gonna have a driver's license. So what you need, you really do need to go straight to DMV, give them this form so that they will give you some ID so that you can drive a vehicle, because if you get pulled over, you're not gonna be able to show the officer this form. You have to go to DMV, okay?
All right.
So I understand you have a baby with you, but you probably, it to your strong advice.
I'm not driving right now. I haven't been
Yeah.
driving.
I still suggest you
Still-
go.
yeah, it's still,
Okay.
does he have ID?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, definitely.
He just a moment, I'm gonna go to the court. If we keep that seat there, it's just taking off the line, paperwork.
All right.
Thank you. And are there other cases? We're gonna take any other police that Mr. Gaither or Mr. Haddad?
We're just waiting on, I guess, the paperwork for 14, Mrs. I'm not 14, for she was on the final plea calendar, position 3.
3. Yes, I sent the diversion form to Ms. Bolton and yourself, Mr. Gaither.
So what happens there? She needs to be reset for compliance, is that?
Yes, that's
She
correct.
will, but she will need to fill that out. They both need to sign, and I need that back so I can then send that to diversion.
All right, so once you filled out those forms, Ms. Dewberry, be free to go. We'll set her, what was my status date, the 9th? The 9th, how much time, how much time will she need to complete the requirement, Mr. Gates?
Sorry.
How much time does the diversion take before we, I mean, so.
I'll let Madam Prosecutor decide which diversion programs. I haven't seen the paperwork.
Yeah, it's Operation 21, and it's an anger management evaluation plus the $250 for diversion. So that would be her cost. So however long it will take her to pay those things.
Okay, so we're gonna put her on a July status calendar.
How about, I was thinking maybe push it back to either July or August, give us some time.
Let's do end of July. Is there an end of July date? I just need to pay before then and then go to the class. If
No.
not, come back.
What were
We have a
you're gonna,
July 7th.
well, first, yeah.
That's what it is. Oh, I'm sorry. Towards the end of the, okay, we'll reset her to the August 4th status. That'll be at 1:30.
What's, you said August 4th?
August 4th at
Okay.
1:30.
Okay.
That's the status calendar, not the final plea order. So remember, it'll be afternoon.
Come on, come on. Spill that on. Just,
Mr. Haddad, you have an announcement?
I do, Judge. Your Honor, it sounds like the state, as far as position number 4, where I don't have obviously proof today, but it sounds like from the state, unless I misheard, that they're going to proceed even if,
No, I was
sorry.
just about to make that announcement, Mr. Haddad. I was able to review the death certificate for the victim as well as the report. There would be no independent witnesses outside of Miss Mixon, who we have been able to confirm is deceased. So the state will be issuing a null pros for this case.
great. Thank you, Ms. Riley.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Are there any other announcements?
Yes, Judge, on position number 7, I anticipated it's gonna be a plea. I just filled out the paperwork as best as I could, and I emailed it to Ms. Riley and Ms. Bolton. And likewise, position number 11, Judge, that's gonna be a plea as well, and I filled out the paperwork and sent it to the prosecutor and Ms. Bolton.
All right, Mr. D, if you're here, you're free to go at this time. We'll take the agenda dismissed, all right? That's the button, please.
Yep.
Your Honor, I did receive that paperwork from Mr. Haddad, but it hasn't been filled out. It's just the form, it's just a template.
Oh.
Are you, it may be typewritten, mine is typewritten.
I had a hard time figuring Adobe with, I don't know why, the circle, so I just deleted the yes and no appropriately, but
You're right. I didn't notice that. Thank you.
thank you, Ms. Riley.
You're welcome. And I've received Mr. Headley's paperwork as well, and it is correct, so I'll be ready to move forward on that, please, Your Honor.
And yes, please double check. I didn't have any typos in the state's recommendation.
All right, so let's go forward with Mr. Hadley. Mr. Hadley, are you present?
Yes.
Mr. Hadley at 19 CR 0062663 F. You're charged with simple battery family violence with the offense stated May 27th of 2018. Do you understand where you're today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to affirm the testimony you give today with truth, possession, and knowledge, and under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can put your hand down. Ms. Riley, if you give me the state's recommendation.
Yes, Your Honor, it is 12 months probation, 20 hours of community service, 6 anger management classes, and to have no contact with the victim, John Quiria Scott.
And was that your understanding of the offer, Mr. Haddad, and do you stipulate the factual basis, ID, and venue?
Yes, Judge, we do stipulate, I did want to mention before we proceed too much further that this is going to be an offer plea. And if I can just briefly address the case, but that is correct, the state's recommendation, and we're asking for to follow the state's recommendation. I am going to request court consider waiving the probation fees, but I can address that at the appropriate time, Judge.
Okay, maybe, Riley, do you have this defendant's history?
I can in just a moment, Your Honor.
Okay, if you would give us that, that will weigh into our consideration here.
Yes, Your Honor. I do have indicated here that he has 4 cycles. Just give me a second. He has a 2016 obstruction of officers arrest. Or conviction, excuse me. A driving while license suspended. And in 2018, there's a aggravated assault, battery, family violence. That appears.
After. Goddamn Fulton County. Yeah, but it's closed.
Yeah, there was a conviction in 2019 for disorderly conduct and.
Back to the aggravated assault, Ms. Riley, do you see a disposition?
Yes, there was a conviction in 2019.
Okay, it's for disorderly, okay.
Yeah, it was pled down to disorderly conduct, it appears.
Okay.
Or no, aggravated assault as well as disorderly conduct.
Okay. All right, and if you could give me briefly the factual basis in this case?
Yes, Your Honor. They would expect the evidence to show that on May 27th of 2018, officers responded to an alarm call at 7670 Brazos Trail in Fulton County. And then met with both subjects who were in a romantic relationship at the time and parents of a minor child. There was a verbal altercation that turned physical when Mr. Headley pushed her and tried to grab her. And in response, she grabbed Mr. Headley, scratching him in the chest area. Just checking to see. Both parties were charged, Your Honor.
Okay, so I'll allow him to use the offered plea if he wishes to plead guilty. Does he wish to still plead guilty today?
Yes, Judge, and if I may be heard, a couple additional things at the appropriate time.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Haddad.
Just for clarification, the 19 SC case, this is the Superior Court case. It started out as an aggravated assault, ended up being a plea to disorderly conduct. I just want to kind of clear that up. It was not a felony conviction is my point. Judge, this case was from 2018. They don't have any contact with each other. It actually happened at my client's mother's address where they were all kind of living together. My client's mother was a witness. They both were cited and given a court date in magistrate court. And from what I gather, my client did not appear. I guess was the basis for the warrant. There's no indication as to what happened to her case, Judge. There was nothing in Odyssey, but under the circumstances, Judge, I think this is a good resolution. I'd ask the court to follow the state's recommendation. It's part of the reason why Ms. Riley was kind enough to waive the normally the fee, the family violence and anger and order anger management. My only request, Judge, if the court would consider waiving the probation fee, at least partially anyway. My client does have an 8-year-old daughter. He is employed, and I just ask. And there's costs involved, I'm sure, with the anger management. I'd ask the court to consider waiving the probation fee and perhaps consider if he completes all their conditions, perhaps consider placing him on non-report, Judge.
All right, I will wait 2 months of fees. After he's completed, he can go non-reporting.
All right, so she's gonna wait 2 months. Once you get that done, you
All right. Your client wish to go forward with the plea?
Yeah, he's ready, Judge.
All right. And I placed your client under oath previously, did I do that?
He did,
Okay,
Judge.
just making sure I did. All right. Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol at this time?
No,
Are you satisfied with your attorney's representation?
yes,
Did anyone force you to take a plea today?
no,
Did anyone promise you anything in exchange?
no,
And you understand you're not gonna have any other court dates regarding this charge?
I understand.
You're giving up your right to have the state prove these charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt.
She's asking you don't want a jury trial, you want a result.
Yeah, I want to result to. I can't.
So you do want a jury trial?
No, no jury trial.
Okay, making sure. All right, and you understand the requirements as your attorney fully explained everything you'll have to do, and you understand that?
Yes, fine.
All right, as to the charge of simple battery, family violence, how do you plead?
Best interest plea.
Best interest plea?
It'll be guilty under North Carolina v. Alford. So are you entering a guilty plea because you're guilty or because it's in your best interest?
Say guilty under offer, that'll be sufficient.
Okay.
So how do you plead?
Offer plea?
Okay, but you still need to say guilty.
Guilty under offer?
All right, we accept your plea at this time. Is there anything further from either party?
Judge, I think my client had a question as far as reporting as to when he's supposed to report to probation. I'm rarely here, Judge. Would he be giving instructions today with instructions to
He'll
report?
get instructions today, and I think he has to report by next week.
Yeah.
I can't go next week, Thursday.
No, it will be not Thursday, anytime next week.
You can do before then, anytime before next week, Thursday.
All right.
Okay.
Is there,
All
can you give me a paper,
Yeah.
a list of community
Just
service?
have a seat and then give you the forms, okay?
Community service.
Yeah.
All right, and what, have we gotten the paperwork completed for Ms. Dewberry so she can go? I have it, it's a diversion and take form. Okay, so Ms. Bolton, I'm sorry, Ms. Turner has the form, so once she submitted those in, it won't be till after court, so Ms. Dewberry can go. We've got everything, we've filled out, Ms. Riley. Okay. Okay, make sure your attorney releases you, but once he does, you can go, okay? And we only have one more position to take a plea, is that correct? Hold on one second, okay.
Okay, yeah.
I'm just getting his, I have forms for you, right? I didn't want to. Oh, no, you're fine, then. I'm gonna ask for an assist as well. Will you give these to Miss Ballard for me when you walk up? There's a donut in it. Drop off.
You trying to bribe me?
I am, just like.
No, it's a reach again, so.
Yeah, and who am I giving Miss Ballard, Jasmine Ballard, or DeAndre, anybody, and still take them.
Okay.
Thank you.
I think there was a sheet somewhere. Can I have a sticky burn?
I think I already talked to her about it.
Randy, can I have a sticky? No, you're fine. I just want to write down the name. Judge. Okay.
Either names. Either. Yeah, or Daphne Ballard. Okay. Anybody can take it over. Or Mr. Barnett, James Barnett can take it. Thank you. I don't know, saying it's your license, send it. I have a
No, I had a muffin this morning, that was enough carbs. So no, I do not eat any donuts. I am gonna come back though, when you all get finished, somebody's supposed to bring Fulton County Employee Association was selling, raffle tickets for $100 gift card for a stop, and they're only $1. So you could possibly win $100 spa day for just $1. So I'm trying to wait to come up with these tickets. I'll come back.
I'll be here. No. We have to get to court. We have to get to court additional notice 2 years. Oh, temporary license. Right. So what if it's not? Right. So this is the form that's still right here. Make a copy of this, and still not on the years. If they don't feel that if you make a copy of this without this still right here, you feel it right there. Then they don't get it. They don't get it.
I'm pretty sure.
If you get his copy of his, or they should be signed. Okay.
Said at the beginning, a copy in the news.
And Ms. Dewberry, where's Mr. Baker? She should be free to go once she's spoken to him. Yeah, I mean, I have the paperwork. She need to tell him she's leaving and make sure he has her information. Someone else, okay. I'm not. Was ASG Riley or DPA? It's Riley, right? It's Mr. Gator.
Let's get to it. This is RTS.
You reduce the time served.
Gotcha.
Will you release Ms. Dewberry? We have her forms. Once she's given you her information, I think she's free to go.
Okay.
No. No. Take care. Have a good day. All right. Any other announcement?
Assuming the paperwork has arrived, Judge, we're ready for a plea on Mr. Rivera.
Okay.
I mean, sorry, Mr. Romero, Judge, position number 11.
Oh. I'm sorry, can you play it again? Just turn it. I wrote the date wrong. I just looked at this right. We just printed it. I printed it. All right, are we ready to take the plea in the case of Mariano Romero 21 CR 00210C?
Your Honor, I did have a quick question before we begin. Mr. Haddad's plea paperwork said RTS, and I'm not familiar with that abbreviation.
I am so sorry. Reduce the time served. I think your recommendation was 4 days in custody, but he has credit for 4 days, correct?
Gotcha.
That's what I meant.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Now, here's your last final copy. That's 123. I don't think you can-
I gave it to you. The emailed it to you.
All right. Are we ready to begin?
Yes, Your Honor.
We are.
All right, Ms. Gideon, if you would, let me place the defendant. Oh, this is Sean Headley. It's not right. It's Mr. Romero. All right, Mr. Romero. We don't have the paperwork for Mr. Romero yet.
Oh.
I think she needs to sign.
But they just don't change the names. I'm sorry. Stage, sorry.
Oops, sorry. Man, I'd be out of this thing on May 16th. I bet.
All right.
There we go. While we're waiting, I have an announcement to make on the show cause calendar.
Yeah.
Position 1, Terrence Oakfield. He's present for. I've spoken to him. I will represent him, but it's not much I can do with him today. So we can just further notice him to the next status calendar, and then hopefully at least give me a chance of filing entry, get the discovery, and then discuss the case.
That makes sense. All right, this is the June 9th status calendar, Ms. Turner.
Yeah, June 9th is good.
Okay, we're gonna notice position 1, Mr. Cofield, to the June 9th status, Mr. Cofield. Keep your address current with your attorney in the court, otherwise you're free to go. All right, and we'll see you on June 9th, okay?
But Your Honor, if I may, can I put the offer on the record just so they have that?
Go ahead.
It is 12 months to serve 30 days, the balance on probation, 6 anger management classes, and to have no further violent or harassing contact with the victim or victims, Monica Smedley or Miss Taylor. And that is for all 4 counts.
Okay,
All right,
thanks.
Thank you.
all right, thank you, Ms. Riley.
Interesting.
Do y'all have a updated address? He needs to update his address with the question. Oh, got you. Oh, what address do you have? He says he hasn't been getting the notices.
One moment. The Parkway Road, 645 Road. That's it, that's the right.
Okay.
Phone number still the same?
Yeah.
1610. 1610. And T, last name at yahoo.com.
It's on a part.
Yeah. Is that an apartment or a house? Yeah, what, apartment or a house, a townhouse? All right, so we are just hoping to take Mr. Romero's plea. And who else are we holding for?
Thank you. God bless.
Take care.
Focus. You just go over.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Mr. Henry, paperwork? Yes. Okay, you're good. And we don't have Mr. Romero's yet? Not right now. Let me check my state board. And who else are we holding on, Mr. Gates? Any other?
I was having Ms. Gethier check on something for Mr. Robert Hill.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm checking.
Okay, sure.
Or Mr. Henry, yes. Ms. Riley, will you confirm the community service for Mr. Headley?
It is 20 hours, Your Honor.
Yes, that's what I thought. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
I couldn't read what I wrote, so. That's the danger with this. That you write a lot and can't read it.
Mr. Haddad, on your plea and verdict, Mr. Romero didn't sign the part about waiving his rights to a jury trial.
You have my express permission if you want to fill it out. I apologize.
Okay, we're still holding for this plea for the search, are we? Yes, right. And, who else is in the courtroom? What is that? Not gonna be that. No,
Except one. Oh, yeah, no, that's. No, that's well. Yes. That's almost $30. So I could be the.
All right, so we're not ready for Mr. Romero's plea. We haven't gotten the paperwork yet. Have we submitted it?
I did, Judge. I'm
I don't think we have it up here, so we can start taking that plea. And are there other announcements, Mr. Gator? Everybody else remaining will be a plea?
Just waiting on the response from Ms. Githier or from Mr. Hill.
You want to give me a quick call, or do you have access to your email?
I'm sitting right here in front of the computer, so whichever is easier for you. I see. My camera's not on. So yeah, I'm right here in front of the computer.
So we're waiting on Mr. Romero.
But whichever is easier, want me to call you? I'll step outside and call you, Ms. Gethier.
All right, and hopefully we can say. We're gonna take a very brief 5-minute recess. All right, we're all back, I believe. Any announcements, Mr. Gaither, or
Oh, yes.
is Ms. Githia?
Well, Ms. Githia, are you back?
And Ms. Riley, are you back?
I'm back.
Okay.
All right.
For position 8, Judge Robert Hill, that's going to be a non-negotiated plea. And the only point of contention is the first offender status.
Okay. All right, and are we ready for Mr. Romero yet? Do we have his paperwork? I know I keep asking, but
I had filled out the paperwork, Judge. I don't know. And I had emailed it to Ms. Githia and Ms. Bolton. Position Romero. Yes, did I send it to you? Did I send it? to
can you
Ron-
send it again, Mr.
Maybe I
Hadassah?
sent it to Rhonda Bolton.
The internet might be running slow today.
For a while.
Yeah, you sent it to Rhonda Bolton.
It's okay.
When it rains, it pours, trust me.
All right, so we'll take Mr. Hill's plea now then. Wait, do we have that paperwork?
I'm working on it, Your Honor.
Okay. All right.
I have a feeling this is gonna happen. It don't, it made me hungry. Goodness. Self-control. God.
I'm trying to bench press. Like I said, I'm trying to bench press lightly. I mean, I bench press like 10 minutes.
It's impressive.
But you need trying to burn on some steam.
Let's do it.
Or that they make sure they have your paperwork. Okay. And then you just go from there as far as reporting. That's all you need. But that's the address and phone number. Okay.
I just sent over the paperwork to you, Mr. Gaither.
Okay.
This stuff, I'm bringing it out, it's coming out. You can stay right here though. So they can knock on this.
All right, Mr. Romero, if you would stand, I'm going to start taking your plea. Raise your right hand. Do you swear to affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge and under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you understand your rights today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can put your hand down. Ms. Gibson, you would give us a state offer?
She's on mute. You're on mute.
Oh, you're
Thank
muted.
you. It is 12 months probation, 40 hours of community service. It was 12 months to serve the 4 days, credit for time served 4 days, 40 hours of community service, family violence intervention program, and no contact with Landon Hammond, and alcohol drug evaluation and any required treatment.
All right, was that your understanding of the offer, Mr. Haddad? Do you stipulate the factual basis, ID, and venue?
It is, Judge.
All right, I'm gonna ask you some questions, all right? Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at the time?
No, ma'am.
Did anyone force you to take a plea today?
No, ma'am.
Did anyone promise you anything in exchange?
No.
Are you satisfied with your attorney?
Yes.
Did your attorney fully explain this plea paperwork to you? And do you have a full understanding of this proceeding today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and you understand that by pleading guilty today, you will not have any further court dates, and you're giving up your right to have the state prove these charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand the requirements that in addition to the time you've already served, you're gonna have to complete some courses and have no contact with the alleged victim or victim in this case, Leslie and Hammond, and you're gonna undergo some evaluation and treatment. Do you understand all of that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, as to the charge, in 21 CR 00210C, battery family violence, Mr. Romero, how do you plead?
Guilty.
I accept your guilty plea at this time. Is there anything further, Mr. Haddad or Ms. Luciana?
No, Judge.
All right, that concludes this case. Once he's done, everything will be free to go.
All right, thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you. Start with Mr. Hill. I understand paperwork may not be in, but let's at least
Yeah, that's fine.
begin the inquiry.
Judge, I'll be excused
Yes, you
to
may.
get my stuff and I'll be back.
Don't make lunch, if you hurry.
Well, I need to get my files. That's my main concern. I'll be back.
All right. Mr. Hill, your case 20 CR 0031208. In this case, you're trying to establish family violence with the offense date of February the 1st of 2020. You understand your rights, Patty?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm gonna place you under oath as well. Please raise your right hand. You can bring forward the testimony you give today will be the truth and best of the knowledge and under the penalty of perjury.
Yes, ma'am.
You can put your hand down. Ms. Vivian, have you given me?
I can barely hear you, Your Honor. You were asking for the offer?
Let me move the microphone. Okay, is that better?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, if you would give me the state's offer in this case, and it's because it's non-negotiated, I would like to have history and brief factual basis if possible.
Yes, it is 12 months probation, family violence intervention program, 40 hours of community service, and no further violent contact with the victim, Sherry Motley.
Okay.
If this case were to proceed to trial, the state expects the evidence to show that on February 1st, 2020, officers were called to 769 Hammond Drive
Understand.
in Sandy Springs, located in Fulton County, regarding a domestic dispute. When they arrived on the scene, the victim, Sherry Motley, and Mr. Hill got into what started out as a verbal altercation, and eventually Mr. Robert Hill punched her in the mouth with his fist and grabbed her with both hands, throwing her onto the ground. Mr. Hill attempted to block her from exiting the room after the things had become physical. Okay. And Mr. Hill's criminal history He does have prior violent convictions. One was being the most current was 2006 for a simple battery in which he was convicted. Also, he also has a D.
I'm sorry, we lost your audio for 1 second, Ms. QPA. What did you say?
A 2006 simple battery conviction.
I have that one. And what did you say after that one?
Oh, I was going to reference a DUI, and I was double checking to see if that was a conviction.
Okay.
But then he also in 1996 was convicted of a battery charge as well.
Okay. All right, other than the request for first offender, Mr. Cather, you stipulated factual basis, ID and venue.
For the purpose of the guilty plea hearing, yes. And I do have if I may approach.
Okay, yes.
This is some correspondence from Ms. Motley that I've already previously shared with the prosecutor.
Is it the one-page letter, Mr.?
That one page letter.
Okay.
Okay, understood. All right, I'll allow him to use his first offender this time,
Thank you.
if he
Appreciate it.
wishes to plead guilty today.
Thank you, Your Honor. And one more time, just may I approach, we were going over the rights form. And we already discussed most of it before the paperwork even came in place, but now we finished all the paperwork there and just turned it in.
All right, I'm gonna ask you some questions, Mr. Hill. Are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol at this time?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with your attorney's representation?
Yes, ma'am.
And did anyone promise you anything in exchange for taking a plea today?
Yes, ma'am.
They promised you something? What'd you get?
No, I'm sorry.
If you got promised something, we need to know what that was.
No, not at all.
Wasn't me.
No.
Okay, and you understand you'll have no further court dates regarding this charge?
Yes, ma'am.
And you are giving up your right to have the state prove this charge against you beyond a reasonable doubt?
Correct.
All right, and you understand the requirements that you'll have to complete as a part of this, and you'll have no further violent contact with the victim. You understand all of that?
Correct.
And you understand you have to complete the community service as well as the courts.
Correct.
And you understand that taking guilty plea may affect other aspects of your life, such as immigration or employment, anything of that nature?
Correct.
All right, as to the charge of battery family violence, Mr. Hill, how do you plead?
Guilty as a person.
Guilty as a first offender.
All right, we accept your guilty plea at this time.
All right.
Is there anything further from either party?
No, ma'am.
Nothing, Judge.
All right. Once you've signed everything, Mr. Hill, you're walk free to go as well.
All right, thank you.
And I believe that concludes the entire Orca status. I'm sorry, Orca final plea and show cause. Ms. Turner, if you would please review it for us. And then we will be in recess.
Okay. Yeah, right.
No, I didn't. That's what we was waiting on. We'll let you figure that out. Okay.
All right, Ms. Turner, I'm just gonna review.
Let me just get the case number. Okay. Cool.
Hey, can everyone hear me? Thumbs up? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so Orca final plea, position 1, plea, position 2, plea, position 3, diversion reset August 4th at 1:30 for status. Position 4 was no cross. Position 5, jury trial demand. Position 6, jury trial demand. Position 7 was a plea. Position 8 is a plea. Position 9, plea. Position 10, jury trial demand. Position 11, plea. Position 12, jury trial demand. Position 13, jury trial demand, and position 14, jury trial demand.
Let me see the other calendar. The other calendar, the essence of my other calendar. Okay, so the Orca show calls position 1 is reset status June 9th. Position 2 through 16 are bench warrants. And position 17 is, what's that, reset? Reset. June 9th.
June 9th.
For status.
For status.
Yes. Does anybody have any questions or concerns?
No, ma'am,
No.
thank you.
All right,
Thank
Ms.
you so
Riley,
much.
you're gonna be leaving. You didn't come to your own G33 donation party. But
I
will we?
know, but I so greatly appreciate it, but I will be back at 1:30. But thank you
Alright.
so much. They taste wonderful from here.
I'll enjoy
it.
it. Work that was
Yes.
so thin. All right, we will be in recess until 1:30. Ms. Riley, will we see you anymore? I know you're coming back at 1:30, but are you staying within the solicitor's office?
I am staying within the solicitor's office, so it is a possibility on occasion. I may be doing a calendar, but I am more so over the pre-accusation portion of the office.
That should be fun. All right, see everyone at 1:30. I managed to get up in time for lunch. See you
Yes.
all then. All right,
Enjoy.
bye-bye.
See you later.